while doing the homework? Any questions that are there that you're finding difficult to answer? Any pattern that you're finding difficult to tackle? No?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
Good. All right. So now see, medical termination of pregnancy, meaning the ending of pregnancy. Okay. Not natural, it is induced. Okay. So induced abortion is what we call as the medical termination of pregnancy. Now, why is it done? First of all, it is done so as to, if the continuation of the pregnancy is harmful to the baby, or if the continuation of the pregnancy is harmful to the mother, then it is medically terminated. Or apart from these reasons, the pregnancy is also terminated for all those unwanted pregnancies. For example, due to casual unprotected intercourse, the like the couple conceived, so that pregnancy can also be removed. Apart from that, the cases of sexual abuse, because of that, if the pregnancy is there, then also it can be terminated. So this whole entire procedure is known as the medical termination of pregnancy. Now, the intentional or voluntary termination of pregnancy before full term is called as medical termination of pregnancy, or MTP, and the other name is induced abortion. Nearly 45 to 50 million MTPs are performed in a year all over the world, which accounts to 1/5 of the total number of conceived pregnancies in a year. So out of all the conceived pregnancies, 1/5 of them gets terminated. That is 45 to 50 million MTPs are done in 1 year. Now, obviously, the MTP, since it is like basically terminating the pregnancy, it is killing the fetus, it has a role in checking the population, isn't it? It's going to decrease the population, but it's not meant for that purpose, meaning MTPs are not used to decrease the population. MTPs are done whenever there is a need, because it is dangerous for the continuing the pregnancy. Now, whether to accept or legalize MTP or not is being debated upon in many countries due to emotional, ethical, religious, and social issues around it. Government of India legalized MTP in the year 1971. So in the year 1971, the medical termination of pregnancy was legalized in India. Now, there are obviously conditions that have to be followed when it is being done, meaning all the conditions that are there are certain criteria to which only the MTPs will be performed. Other than that, it won't be performed. Now, apart from this, many people are so malicious that they try to do the MTP because when they find out that the sex of the baby is a female, so then they also try to go for this. So that is why there are certain criteria, there are certain rules to check, and because of that, the MTP has been legalized, but it is under some strict conditions. Now, why MTP? Obviously, the answer is to get rid of unwanted pregnancy, either due to casual unprotected intercourse or failure of the contraceptive used during the coitus or in the rape cases. MTPs are also essential in certain cases where continuation of the pregnancy could be harmful or even fatal, either to the mother or to the fetus or to both of them. So in all these cases, these are the criteria. When any person fulfills any of these criteria, then only MTPs can be performed. Now, MTPs are considered relatively safe during the first trimester. Now, as you must remember from the previous classes, that the this thing the pregnancy is divided into 3 trimesters, right? Now, for the first trimester, meaning up till the 3 months, if the MTPs are being done up till then, meaning up to the 12 weeks of pregnancy, then it is safe. But the second trimester abortions are much more riskier. And obviously, 100% the abortions have to be done by a qualified doctor. Many a times, because of the social pressure and embarrassment of stuff, people go to those people that are not like doctors, and then that is really unsafe for them. So this part of this particular paragraph is very important, like up till when it is safe and up till when it becomes riskier. Now, one disturbing trend is that a majority of MTPs are performed illegally by unqualified quacks, which are not only unsafe but could be fatal. Now, the people that are just reading the book as to how to do the procedure and do it, then obviously that kind of a procedure will be so unsafe. And apart from that, it could be fatal. It could lead to the death. Another dangerous trend is the misuse of amniocentesis. Misuse of amniocentesis to determine the sex of the unborn child. Amniocentesis was the determination of the sex or any disorder of the fetus or the embryo. And sex determination is amniocentesis. And when people used to know that the sex of the baby was female, they used to get it aborted. So this is the misuse of amniocentesis also, and it is the misuse of MTP also. So that is why MTP must be performed under certain criteria. Now, such practices should be avoided because these are dangerous for both the young mother and the fetus. Now, effective counseling on the need to avoid unprotected coitus and the risk factors that are involved in illegal abortions, as well as providing more healthcare facilities, could reverse the mentioned unhealthy trend. So, this was about the medical termination of pregnancy. Any doubts up until now, students?
No, ma'am.
What about others? Where are you people? Why no one has switched on their videos?
No, ma'am.
Only one
I'm
student
checking.
has switched on his video. Why? Are you people sleeping?
No.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay. Then show me that you're not sleeping. Oh, you're awake. Oh, I see you. Okay. Khadija is awake. Mariam is awake. What about the others? Siddika is awake. Okay. Ikhra, are you sleeping?
No, ma'am.
Oh, Ikhra is awake. Okay. All right. So everyone has understood MTP?
Yes.
Do you have any doubts in this?
No, ma'am.
Okay, good. Also, okay, what all chapters are going in your school, students?
The same one.
Which one? Same one, reproductive
one.
health.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me,
We
principles
finished.
of inheritance. And
Same, ma'am. For me also, principle of inheritance has started.
Principle of inheritance. Okay. And for Siddhika, chapter 4 is going on. Okay. All right, good. Mm. So, how are your schools going, students? How are you people liking class 12th? Is the pressure of the board already on?
Yeah.
Now,
No.
everyone who might meet you, ever since you people have graduated to class 12, they were like, boards, boards, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone might remind you all, right? Boards, you have
Yes,
to
ma'am.
give boards. Yeah, that's very common thing to occur. Okay, so MTP is clear to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
very good. All right, now moving forward, let's talk about the sexually transmitted disease. Now, these are the diseases that are also known as the venereal diseases, VD. And they are also known as sexually transmitted diseases, and they are transmitted through sexual intercourse, or they have another name, that is reproductive tract infections. So one disease has three names: sexually transmitted disease, venereal disease, and reproductive tract infections. Now, amongst them, what are those diseases? Gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, chlamydiasis, genital warts, trichomoniasis, hepatitis B, and of course, the most discussed infection in recent years, that is caused by the HIV, that is the AIDS. Who knows the full form of AIDS?
Wait. You said this last time, right?
I did. Who
Mm-hmm.
remembers the full form of AIDS?
I remember that the D doesn't stand for disease.
That's true. Hmm.
Acquired immunodeficiency.
Right. Book is there in front of you. Hmm? Yes. Okay. What is the full form of HIV?
Virus.
Yeah. V stands for virus.
Type virus.
Human immunovirus.
Human immunovirus. Right. HIV stands for human immunovirus. And HIV causes AIDS. So these diseases, the names of the diseases, these are the sexually transmitted diseases. And AIDS, amongst all of them, AIDS is the most dangerous one, the fatal one. This is the one that cannot be ever cured. Now, see, another thing to remember is that if a person has any of these diseases, okay, any of this, it does not mean that it is only transmitted by sexual intercourse. No, it's a big misconception. Apart, it's it's basically either because of sexual intercourse or because of certain body fluids or also because of certain blood mixing. Now, some of these infections, such as hepatitis B and HIV, can also be transmitted by sharing of injection needles, surgical instruments, etc., with infected people. Then also because of transfusion of blood and from an infected mother to the fetus. Now, the first case, sharing of injection needles. Now, for all those people that are drug abusers, right? What they do, they take intravenous drugs, right? They take it through injections. So they inject it into their skin. Now, what happens amongst them is that there are many people that do so. They do it in a group usually. So, for example, for instance, one person injected that drug, and then that same injection, that same needle is used by another person to inject the drug in its body, in his body or her body, whoever it is. Okay. So, what happens, for example, if the person A has HIV virus in his body through any means, who knows, through any means. Now, this B, the person B who is just the drug abuser and he is not affected by HIV. Now, since he shared the needle, now if the needle goes inside the body, it is coming in contact with the blood, right? So when the needle will come out of the body, that needle will contain some blood on it, right? Which may not be seen to us, but it will have blood on it. Now, when the next person injects that into his skin, then that person gets the disease from this person's body because the blood of that person contaminates the blood of the healthy person. So even though the person B has not had sexual intercourse, but still he gets the sexually transmitted disease or this disease because of sharing of the injection needles. Okay. Now, the second is surgical instruments. Now, surgical instruments, the same thing. If those surgical instruments in an unhygienic place, if the surgery of an like HIV infected or hepatitis B infection has been done with those instruments, and those instruments did not get properly sanitized or, like, and then they were used on this healthy person. Now, again, they will have this. Now, this is for negligence and poor, you can say, um, hospital environment and everything. Now, transfusion of blood. You people understand what is the meaning of transfusion of blood?
Donating blood.
Exactly. When anyone gets, you can say, low blood level in their body, so they get the blood donated to them. Now, the blood comes from the blood banks, right? They are in pouches and they are hung upon and everything. Now, for example, the person who donated blood, he did not know that he had HIV virus in his body. Nor did the people who were taking the blood check. They did not check and he does not know. So now the blood that will be given to someone else that has the HIV virus in it. And when that blood transfusion, now once the blood goes into the body, it is impossible to take that blood out, right? Because it gets mixed. How can you separate fluid? So because of blood transfusion also, they can get it. Now, the next case is the from infected mother to the fetus. Now, when a female is pregnant, for example, she has HIV or a hepatitis B virus or whatever. Now, we know that everything goes to the fetus from the mother body only, right? All the nutrients, every single thing. So this infection can also be passed on to the fetus. So fetus, someone who is not even born yet, can be born with this deadly disease because it can be transmitted from the infected mother to the fetus. But it does not mean that it will 100% be transferred only. Sometimes it does not. but in most of the cases it will. So you understand how. Yes, Mariam.
How does HIV start? Like, how do you get it? The first, like, person.
See, HIV starts, for example, like it starts when one person has it in his body. Mostly why? Because, for example, there is one person and he is having multiple sexual partners. Okay. Now you never, like, no one knows that where the other partner has ever been to, right? Now maybe that partner has had sexual intercourse with multiple other partners. So in that way, the germ travels. So now when the healthy person has the sexual intercourse or any of these diseases, I mean, these ways, then that virus gets into the body of the healthy human.
So it just passes on from one person to
Yeah,
another.
yeah, exactly. We
Oh,
cannot trace back as to how it developed because, first of all, it's a virus. No one can
oh.
find out how coronavirus developed, right? How did it come from or where did it come from is yet unknown. Same goes for this. But mostly, like I have heard about HIV, is that this virus was, I think, originated or it came along because of the homosexual couples. I think so. I mean, like the theory behind it is still unknown, but this is the consensus, you can say. But the main reason it is that it can be transported. That's it. Okay. Now, now see, this is a very important line. Except for hepatitis B. Now see, hepatitis is of many types. Many types. You will learn this in human health and disease chapter. Hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and hepatitis E. There are many types of hepatitis. Amongst them, hepatitis B, genital herpes, and HIV infections. These three are not curable. They cannot be cured once a person is infected with either of these three diseases. Apart from them three, all the other diseases such as gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydiasis, trichomonia, all of them are curable if detected early. But these three, no matter if it is detected early or late, doesn't matter. It will never be cured. It is untreatable. Okay? Why are you people making faces?
So it eventually
Hmm.
spreads onto the body and you die.
Which one?
If you get HIV, genital herpes.
Yeah. And the bizarre thing about them is that once the infection is in the body of the human, no one will know it. Like for example, day one, the
There are no
person has the
symptoms.
infection. They're like the symptoms are like cough, fever, which like a person would think that they are not normal, seasonal or stuff. And mostly what happens, the symptoms are there, but they are shown after 2 years, after 1 year. And by that time, the infection has multiplied to thousands and thousands of folds in the body. So now how will it be controlled? And there is no way to actually control it.
So
Hmm.
you can check if you have it, right?
Yeah, person can check it. A person who has now see a person who has had multiple sexual intercourse can have this. So he or she, whoever it is, can get it checked. But when once that person gets it checked, so maybe there will be some kind of you can say medicines that will be going on, but a permanent cure for this disease is not there. Even though it is detected early, it can like you can say the death can be prolonged, but the death is assured for that person. Like it will come, like it's assured for everyone no matter whether a person has the disease or not, but for them they'll have like gruesome death is there for them. We'll study this in human health and disease. There is a proper section given to AIDS and cancer, so we'll study both of those diseases. Okay, so yeah, now talking about the early symptoms of most of these diseases. The early symptoms are minor and it includes itching, fluid discharge, slight pain, swellings in the genital region. So these are the some of the minor symptoms that take place if any person has the sexually transmitted disease. But infected females, the females that have been infected with this disease, they may be asymptomatic, meaning they will not show any kind of symptom. And because of this very reason, they will remain undetected for a long period of time. And Apart from this also, there is one thing that is very common in this, is that many people don't get it checked because they feel ashamed. Because of that, yeah, because of that they don't get it checked, because if a person goes and gets a checkup for a sexually transmitted disease, he in one way is saying that I have had sexual intercourse, right? Multiple sexual intercourse, right? So to save him or herself from the embarrassment, they don't go to get it checked only, so it goes undiagnosed. Okay. Now, absence or less significant symptoms in the early stages of infection and the social stigma attached to the STDs deter the infected person from going for timely detection and proper treatment. So this could lead to complications later, which could include the pelvic inflammatory disease. First kind of complication of the sexually transmitted disease is pelvic inflammatory disease. Then abortions. Normal, like if a female has the STD and she has the baby, now that will get aborted on its own. So that is one kind of. Now stillbirth. The baby is full term. After 9 months, the baby that is born will be dead. A dead baby will be born. That is stillbirth. Then ectopic pregnancies. Okay, normally where does the zygote or the embryo gets implanted to?
Ampular
Uterus.
region.
And
Uterus.
Uterus.
Ampular region.
endometrial lining.
Yeah, uterus, not ampulla. Ampulla is where
That is where it gets
fertilization takes place,
I
fertilized.
right?
heard
Yeah.
fertilization.
No, not fertilization. Implantation. Implantation takes place in the uterus, right? But when the implantation takes place in any place other than the uterus, that is ectopic pregnancy. Okay. For example, now the implantation took place in the fallopian tube only. The fallopian tube is a tube, right? And the embryo has the property to grow. So the embryo will grow in that area, and because of that, the fallopian tube will burst. If it has not been implanted in the uterus and it had gotten implanted in the fallopian tube, the fallopian tube will burst, leading to the death of the female. So that is ectopic pregnancy, one of the most complication that comes with the STD. Apart from that, the person can go infertile or can even develop cancer of the reproductive tract. So these are the following complications. Now, STDs are a major threat to the healthy society. Therefore, prevention or early detection and cure of these diseases are given prime consideration under the reproductive healthcare programs. Though all persons are vulnerable to these infections, their incidences have reported to be very high among persons in the age group 15 to 24 years of age. In this, like, there are maximum recorded cases of STDs. And see how they have written the age group to which you belong. I don't know why they do these things. I don't understand NCRT very well. All right. So there is no reason to panic because prevention is possible. Now, what are the ways by which it could be prevented? So avoid sex with unknown partners or multiple partners. Always use protections, condoms during the coitus. In case of doubt, one should go to a qualified doctor for early detection and get complete treatment if diagnosed with the disease. So all of these are the points that are for the prevention of the STDs. Now tell me, any doubts, students, in this whole entire paragraph? Don't worry, I will give you the notes. I have started to use the NCRT because, it's like, let's deal with it, right? First, we'll deal with NCRT and then I'll provide you the notes. Now,
Ma'am, I don't think notes are necessary for this chapter. So, like, everything is in the textbook only. Just read the textbook only.
Yeah, that's what I feel. But don't worry, I have the notes prepared for you all. I will give you the notes. And so this STD part is clear to everyone in the class?
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
doubt that there is in your mind?
No.
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Okay, now, yeah. Okay, before starting the last topic, that is infertility, I would like to go to the initial topics because I have not done that with you people, right? Let me just share my screen for that, and I have prepared the notes. You'll be very happy to see the notes. They're very pretty. All right, can you see my screen?
I can see him. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, no one will note down anything right now. Let me give you a recapitulation of this whole entire thing, and then you can note it down. Okay. All right. First understand and then note it down. So for all those people that, thank you, Khatija. Thank you very much for that. she goes like, okay. So yeah. So for all of those that did not do this class with me, this is a
I
first
heard the recording.
you had the recording.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Siddhika is new, right? Siddhika, you haven't had this class with me, isn't it? Okay, so, and for all of those that have seen this is a recap. Okay, so what is being reproductively healthy? So, being reproductively healthy is being healthy in a physical state, in an emotional state, in a social state, and also in the behavioral state. When a person is tick, tick, tick in all of these states, then that person can be considered as reproductively healthy. Now, in the year 1951, India initiated family planning. And this family planning initiative, it was took under the RCH program. RCH is Reproductive and Child Health Care Program. Okay. Now, why was this family planning initiated? It was initiated because of the overpopulation. Because the population kept on increasing and increasing. So to control that, family planning was initiated. Now, the problems and the strategies of reproductive health. We'll mention each of the problems and then we'll say what is the solution. So the first problem of reproductive health is overpopulation. The next is awareness about reproduction. Then there is sex education, knowledge about STDs and sex organs, birth control devices, prenatal and postnatal care, prevention of sex abuse and sex related crimes, information about reproduction related problems such as infertility, knowledge about amniocentesis. So we'll see one by one what is it. Now we have seen the problem. Overpopulation is a major problem. It is the biggest problem, in fact. Why? Because if the population will increase, the resources are limited, the resources will be over. And if the resources will be over, the growing population will not be able to feed, to wear clothes, to live anywhere. So no shelter, no food, nothing. So that is why population has to be kept under a controlled way. So it is one of the major concerns connected with reproductive health. A rise in the population would lead to the shortage of resources. Family planning is the best way to assess this particular problem. Then comes the awareness about reproduction. Now see, Yaya was right that this chapter does not require any notes because it's very obvious. But what happens is that when you will be asked, like you'll get asked these questions in your exams, you'll have nothing to write about because these are the points that you cannot think and write about, right? So that is why I've provided you very long notes. Now, awareness about reproduction. Now, what is this awareness about reproduction? The youth needs to be aware about all the aspects related to reproduction and reproductive health. Awareness is created by audio visual media, meaning audio means through the radio, visual means through the television, print media through the newspapers and magazines, governmental agencies and non-governmental agencies. All of these are responsible for creating the awareness. Like how for a new product that comes into the market, there are ads that are created for it and we know about that product. And then everyone knows about that product. Same goes for the awareness about any topic. When one person knows, everyone knows. Are you people seeing that Covaxin and Covishield controversy that is going on? Does anyone know about it? So it started at a place and then it got circulated everywhere. Now, who does not know, it's fine. It's good that you don't know. Okay. Now, apart from that, apart from these agencies and the media, there are parents, there are close relatives, teachers that can also provide the awareness to the developing children. The third is the sex education. Now, this is the knowledge about the male and the female bodies. This must be introduced in the school so as to know what is wrong, what is right, what are the different parts of the body, what should be covered, and what is good touch, bad touch, everything is explained whilst this sex education is given. So it is very important to be given in the schools. Apart from this, it is also important to provide the students the information about what is a myth, what is a misconception about sex related aspects, right? So all of these things are very important to know. Like for all those females that have just hit puberty, now, if they do not know what menstruation is, now if a female bleeds, now she will be scared, right? What is happening to me? If she does not know what is happening, right? So that is why it is very important to educate the growing children. Now, knowledge about sexually transmitted diseases and the sex organs. Birth control devices. What are the devices that are used to control the unwanted pregnancies? Then prenatal and postnatal care of the mother and the baby. Prenatal means before the baby is born, meaning during the pregnancy, what are the care that must be given to the mother so as to have a healthy baby and to keep herself healthy. And then the postnatal care is when the baby has been delivered, and that then what are the care or what are the kind of supplements that the mother should have in order to stay healthy. Also, the education about the importance of breastfeeding and everything comes under this. Now, then there is the prevention of sex abuse and sex related crimes. Again, teaching them what is right, what is wrong, and everything. Then, information about reproduction related problems such as infertility. This information must also be provided to the children at a proper age time period. Now, the knowledge about amniocentesis. Now, amniocentesis, what it is? See, let's talk about the use of it. Now, amniocentesis is the sex determination of the fetus. It is the sex determination and also the disorder determination. And why is it done? It is done so as to find out, first of all, the sex of the baby. Secondly, also to find out if there is anything wrong with the developing fetus, whether it has any disease or it is suffering from anything or not. So it is the fetal sex and disorder determination test, and it is based on the chromosomal pattern of the embryo cell in the amniotic fluid. Now everyone knows that the baby is present in the uterus, right? And it is surrounded by a fluid which is known as amniotic fluid, right? The baby is present in that fluid. So what happens with the help of an injection, that fluid is taken out. That fluid, not the baby, the fluid is taken out, and then that fluid's chromosomal pattern is studied, and because of that we the doctor can understand if there is any disorder to the fetus, and if there is what is the sex of the fetus. Now, what is the misuse of it? Even though this is such a great process, a person can know if there is anything wrong with the fetus or not, but it is being misused. As to how it is being misused, to know the sex of the baby and being followed by MTP of the fetus if the fetus is female. So this whole thing is known as female feticide. So this is the reason why amniocentesis is banned in India. Okay. It's legally banned in India. Any doubts up until now, students? Good. Now the measures. Did someone say something? All right. Now, the measures to control overpopulation. What are the ways by which it can be controlled? The first solution to any problem in life is education. You have no money, get educated, you'll have money. And you have no interest in anything, get educated, you have interest in everything. So education is basically, according to me, it is the solution to everything in life, to be very honest. So is the solution to overpopulation. Now, why? When people will understand that having a small family is better than having a larger family. Why? Because small family, less people, less mouths to feed, right? Less stomachs to fill, less this thing. It's not just that people will have a kid and then that's it, that is it. Now that kid has to be brought upon, right? School fees, medical bills, and everything goes along. So smaller family, lesser number of people, less tension. So a slogan at that point of time was, advertised with was "Hum do, hamare do." This slogan means we two and our two kids. This is a slogan that you can say it encourages the couples to have just two kids. Then there are many couples that have one child policy. They just have one kid and then that is it. Second is marriageable age. Now, earlier rural times, the females used to get, they were forced to get married at a very young age, like 16, 15, 14. So the marriageable ages have been raised for females, that is 18 years of age, and for males, that is 21 years of age. This is the marriageable age. Marrying the male or a female before this is illegal, but it is still being done in villages. Now, apart from that, there is incentives. Incentives are given to the people that have smaller families, so that they will be, you can say, motivated to have a smaller family. Lastly, there is family planning, meaning one kid is born, then spacing the pregnancy, like spacing the pregnancy up till the couple is financially stable to have another kid. So that is family planning. Now, talking about the reasons for overpopulation. So the reasons for overpopulation includes decrease in the death rate. If this is very cruel to say, but if the people are not dying, they are being added to the population only, right? No one is dying. So decrease in the, now death rate means mortality. So decrease in the mortality is equal to increase in the population. Now under the death rate comes maternal mortality rate and fetal mortality rate. Now here the mother is not dying, and here the fetus is not dying, meaning more and more kids are being born, and the mother is also alive. So decrease in the death rate in general will contribute to the increase in the population. Now, increase in the birth rate, decrease in the death rate but increase in the birth rate, meaning more and more kids are being born per day every year. So that is natality. Just like how death rate is mortality, birth rate is natality. Natality means more and more kids being added to the population. Any doubts up until now, students? Sure?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
No,
very
ma'am.
good. Okay, now you people can note down and note it nicely, so that like you only have to open your notebook and just read it. You can switch off your cameras and write comfortably. Siddhika, you can also switch off your camera.
Done, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Done, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Done. Done.
No, ma'am. 1 minute.
Okay, okay.
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Everyone's done?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you scroll up a little bit?
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So let's begin with the next topic that comes along. That is the methods of birth control that we call as contraception. Now, the stuff that is used as a contraception device is known as a contraceptive. Now, there are certain criteria that the contraceptives have to fill in order to be called as the ideal contraceptive. Now, what are those criteria? First, it should be user friendly, meaning it should be comfortable and easy to use by whoever is using it. So first is that it should be user friendly. Second, there should be absence of any side effect. Third, it should be reversible. Like whenever the couple wants to have the child, then they can conceive. So it should be reversible. Like they can conceive means they should be able to do so. Secondly, I mean, the last one is that it should be completely effective, meaning it should do what it is supposed to do, that is, prevent unwanted pregnancies. So these are the characteristics of the ideal contraceptives. Now, what are the various kinds of methods of contraception? So there is natural method, barrier method, chemical method, intrauterine devices, oral contraceptives, injectables, implants, and lastly, surgical method. So each of these methods we'll be seeing one by one. Now, the first method is the natural method. Now, under the natural method, see, natural itself means that nothing artificial is used here. So here, no devices, no medicines, nothing is used. Okay, these are all the natural methods of contraception. The first method that comes under the natural method of contraception is periodic abstinence. This is also known as rhythm method. Now, here, what happens here? The coitus is avoided during the day 10 to day 17 of the menstrual cycle. At this point of time, the coitus is avoided. Now, why at this point of time? Because this is the time period when ovulation takes place. Ovulation is the release of ovum, and it is the fertile period of the females. So, if a couple were to avoid the pregnancy, so they should avoid the coitus during this particular set of days. So this is periodic abstinence. After that comes the withdrawal method, which is also known as coitus interruptus. Now, it is the method of withdrawal of the penis right before ejaculation, meaning right before the release of sperm, it gets withdrawn. And this prevents the fertilization. Clear up until now? Okay. What about Siddhika? Siddhika, like all the things are clear to you? You can type it if you can. Okay, great. Yeah, Mariam, were you saying something? Someone was saying something, no? Okay, Siddhika, it's great that everything is clear to you. Now, just in case if you have any doubts, please ask me, okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a very solid doubt. It can be very silly and you can ask me. Okay, now the next method of natural contraception is lactational amenorrhea. Now, what is the meaning of this amenorrhea? Amenorrhea means the absence of menstruation, meaning the absence of periods. So, during this time, and when does it happen? So, during the time when the female is breastfeeding the child. So, at that point of time, meaning up till the period of 6 months, the female does not get her menses, and that is known as lactational amenorrhea. So this method itself in it, like it is a method of contraception, because if the female does not get the menstruation, the menses, it means that the menstrual cycle is not taking place, meaning ovulation is not happening at all. So this is a great contraception method. But out of like these three methods that we are seeing right here, they are the chance factors, isn't it? Like who would know when is the day 10? It is very hard to calculate the exact date, right? It's not possible. So it is just an estimation. So goes for the coitus interruptus. Maybe there would be some leaks. Who can control leaks? No one can control leaks, right? Then comes the lactational amenorrhea. Now, maybe in some females, this is the time period for up to 6 months. But what if in some period, the time period is not up to 6 months and it is less than that? So, all of these methods, even though they have no device required, no medicine required, so it means that they will have no side effect, but it is not 100% effective. This is the downside to it. How can it be effective when it is just a chance process, right? It is just based on probability and the number of days and everything. So it is not at all like 100% effectiveness is not there. But the greatest thing is that it has no side effect at all. Now, after that comes the barrier method. Now, barrier method is the one in which the sperm and the ovum is physically not allowed to meet. There has been put a barrier in between them so that they cannot meet. The first one that comes under the barrier method is the condom. Now, this is a tubular latex sheet that is made by the male partner. Not made by, it is worn by. Okay. This happens when you write a lot at once. So it is worn by the male partner on the copulatory organ. Apart from preventing fertilization, see, so whenever the ejaculation or the release of sperm will take place, it will get collected in the condom and not go to the female's reproductive tract, right? So apart, and also since it covers the copulatory organ, so there is no touching of the fluid, or the touching of the organ is also not there. So it, apart from protecting like the fertilization from happening, it also provides protection from STDs. Okay. Now, a common brand name is Nirod. It's just there in the book. Now, the female condoms are also available. Apart from this, there are diaphragm, cervical caps, and walls that are used as barriers by the females. And they are used to cover the cervix. So many a times a question can come like the diaphragm, cervical caps, and the walls. Will they protect from STDs? Yes or no? Will these three things protect from STDs?
Yes.
Okay, one person said yes. Okay. And Mariam also said yes. What about others?
Ma'am, can you repeat what you asked?
The question is, I said that the diaphragm, cervical cap, and the walls, can these three things protect the female from sexually transmitted disease? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And Siddhika, what do you say? She also says yes. So the whole class says yes.
That's yes.
Okay. All of you are wrong.
No.
First of all, read the line. They cover the cervix. Is the cervix
Yeah.
external opening?
Oh,
No, right? It's the
no.
internal opening. What about the vagina? That is exposed.
Yeah.
So how can it can prevent pregnancy, but it will not prevent STD. Okay? Be careful with this. That is why I asked this line. Okay? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
So they are
Yes, ma'am.
reusable.
Yes.
And let's write that only. They prevent fertilization, but not STDs. Is it clear to everyone the whole concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
very good.
ma'am.
Now coming on to the chemical method. So along with all the barrier methods, there are certain spermicidal creams, jellies, and foams that are used to increase the effectiveness of the barriers. Okay, they are used along with the barriers. So spermicidal means killing. So the sperm killing creams are spermicidal creams. There are jellies also, foams also. So they are applied along with the female contraceptives or the any barriers so as to kill the sperm. Now after that comes the intrauterine devices. Okay, but we will discuss it later on. First you note down till here. Is everything clear to everyone up till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, now you can note it down.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Everyone is done till here?
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Ma'am,
Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
uh,
Say.
is it okay if I leave the meeting? My tab is going to shut down now.
It's okay, okay. Like, can't you charge it?
If I find a charger, I can try to charge it.
Okay. Like the class is about to be over only in 5 minutes, but okay, it's fine. Okay, Siddhika, take your time. I'm waiting. Then just tell me once you're done.
No need, ma'am. I found the charger.
Okay, great.
Done, ma'am.
Everyone is done?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, very good. Okay, students, let's do one thing. Let's just keep it till here only for today, and we'll continue with the rest of it in like tomorrow's class. Also, this is for all the students. Read this chapter up till where I've taught for tomorrow. Okay, I will ask a little bit, like sort of like an oral test, and I'll see like how much you people have understood the chapter. And okay, so I
Ma'am,
will meet you.
should we study till where we wrote or till where you taught us? STD
If
till